Hello and welcome to this edition of the SA Crypto Market Analysis. I'm James Preston.
And I'm Graham Tennant.
And this edition is being recorded on Wednesday the 12th of February 2020 and it's proudly sponsored by Huobi. Huobi are one of the world's largest exchanges, one of the world's most reputable as well, having been around since September 2013 and boasting the fourth most liquidity on any crypto exchange in the world. And we've been dealing with Huobi quite a lot of late. Their Middle East and North African team in Dubai, which are actually coming out to South Africa for Blockchain Africa coming up soon. So look out for events with Huobi. And their interface, Graham, is one that you like because of the great integration with TradingView.
Yeah, I think they've done that really well, and the chart is really user-friendly on the exchange interface itself. And I just find it very easy and intuitive to use. So I've enjoyed using Huobi for some time now.
Yeah, and another reason why you've used Huobi a lot is because of the amount of altcoins that they have on offer.
Yeah, they've got a really big variety of various coins available, especially the small cap coins. So yeah, in this type of market where altcoins are looking up, it's a nice exchange to have access to.
So check them out. We have a link for you in the YouTube and the podcast description. Click on that link, it'll take you to Huobi's website where you can also get a slight reduction in fees for signing up through that link. Now, Graham, let's get into this week's charts. We have an interesting pattern there on the Bitcoin chart and on the altcoins, but we'll look at the Bitcoin chart first. We have an ascending wedge, which is bearish most times.
Correct.
So that means we should be due a pullback?
Yes and no, possibly. So yes, the rising wedge or ascending wedge is generally a bearish type of pattern. But the exception to that rule is when the market is really bullish. And then you get this contraction of volatility and you actually get a squeeze out of the top. And that can result in some really impulsive green candles, like the one that we've actually just seen right now. However, that generally is very short-lived. So what I do expect is that we might even get further really impulsive moves to the upside, but I'm just not interested in touching that because of the really strong move that we've had already. And often you get what we call a blow off top, where the market really overextends itself. It's a little bit like a rubber band being pulled away from its existing position, and when you let that rubber band go, you can get some really fast snapback and even some capitulation candles in the short term. But for me, that's the opportunity to buy, because when you do have that strong sell-off, it can overextend itself in the other direction, and that is obviously the opportunity to buy in such a bullish market. So right now, in the shorter term, I've kind of taken my chips off the table, taken some profit from the nice move that we've had, and I'm waiting for the pullback in the medium term to enter the market.
Medium being 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's always difficult in crypto because your time frames are so much shorter than traditional markets. But yeah, when we get this sell-off, that's when I'm looking to enter. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we're seeing a similar pattern on the altcoin market, I believe.
Yes.
Which is interesting because we're even more bullish long term, according to what you're seeing on the chart. Okay?
Yeah, and maybe let's have a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, because this is the reason why I'm more bullish on the alts than Bitcoin, is because we've seen the dominance chart break through this level of support. 7
days of continuous bearish action.
Yep, 100%. So the market's clearly told us which way it's going. It's broken out of the support and this symmetrical triangle, which contracted that volatility.
So to clarify as well, this is Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is reducing. Every time you see a red candle on this chart, Bitcoin dominance is reducing, meaning that there is more money going into the altcoins on Bitcoin. That chart at that moment. Yeah.
Yep. So it's taking market cap away from Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So we expect to see altcoins deliver better performance compared to Bitcoin.
Yes.
In this type of environment. And again, we might get a pull back on this chart because we've had such a strong run. But I do think that this trend is quite well established now, and I expect it to continue over the medium to longer term for altcoins to deliver more outperformance compared to Bitcoin. And in jumping back to the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, we can see the same type of structure playing out with
the total altcoin market cap,
yes,
basically. Yeah,
exactly. So this is again a nice chart that you can use to get a good idea about what's happening on altcoins, without having to go into each specific chart.
Yes.
So it saves you a lot of time to get a macro picture of what's happening. And clearly we can see here we broke out the top of this wedge, we came back to retest, and now we're on our way with some large green candles. So again, I'm staying away from this right now, but I am keen to get in on a pullback. And then one other thing to note, which is really interesting, is that on a bigger time frame on the daily chart, we can see how much more of this move Bitcoin took from its high in 2017 to the low of 2019, and it retraced all the way to 61%.
Amazing.
Which was a fairly good effort, whereas your altcoins really never got out of first gear.
Yeah.
So you'll see that their retracement over a similar time frame, they didn't even breach the 23% level. So it's just got a lot more capacity than Bitcoin to take back more of that market cap that it lost in between the end of 2017 and 2019. And that doesn't mean that we're now just going to explode forward and pass straight past those 2017 highs, but this low here and this higher low here is signaling to us that there could be a significant trend reversal. So longer term we're looking really bullish, but in the short term taking some profits and waiting for a decent pullback level to enter.
Okay, and we'll keep you updated, of course. Tune in next week where we'll have a look at whether we have pulled back and maybe look into some of the other coins. We had lined up some of the other alts, but because of the fact that the altcoins and Bitcoin itself short term looking like a potential pullback, we're going to wait a little bit. So we'll reassess next week. This gives us a nice overview. Long term, still very bullish, especially on the alts. Short term, potential opportunity for some pullback.
Yeah, and it's a difficult situation because the market is clearly bullish and we might get some really big green candles in the next little while. And unfortunately, you just have to sit on your hands for now and wait for the market to calm down to get, I think, a more responsible entry.
Okay. All right. Well, Graham, that's all we have time for then. Thanks so much once again. We'll be back next week. And this edition proudly sponsored by Huobi. Check them out. The reference link is in our YouTube and our podcast description. Of course, that does support SA Crypto as well. So hop on to one of the world's leading crypto exchanges and look out for them here in South Africa in March. We'll keep you updated as to when that happens. Graham, thanks so much.
Thanks, James.
We'll see you in the next edition.
Cheers for now.
SA Crypto is not a registered financial advisory, and the information provided in this market analysis is for informational purposes only. Each audience member is responsible for their own financial decisions, and SA Crypto cannot be held responsible for any decisions made by those within its audience. SA Crypto strongly encourages all audience members to consult a professional and registered financial advisor before making any financial decisions.